I hope this episode won't be too boring because while I was reading through it, I realized that of the three chapters introducing the characters, this one is the most boring one because nothing happens. Events just happen for no reason. It's just uh, it's a continuous showing how much Kirian is a bad person. um, yes, because Kirian is a bad person. I don't understand why people like him, but not people as in a reader. Okay, that reads about him because he's supposed to be the um, he's like the cynical, comical relief. It's supposed to be that of the story, but he's just a bad person. Because okay, he's the kind of character who hates everyone. He hates people. He hates interacting with people. And not only that, but he doesn't know how to approach people. He's an inept. Okay, um, he's the kind of character you can bear with in a story, but the kind of person whose guts you would hate in real life. But he's also, I don't know. His chapter was just boring because, as I said, nothing happens. Events are just scattered around the pages with no chronological meaning or sense. Anyway, let's just get to it because I already know it's going to be more boring than usual. So let's just get this over with. So the chapter starts off with Kirian, yes, and Julian. Julian is Kirian's boyfriend. Wait, little recap about Kirian because it's been 2 episodes. So Kirian, he is 21. He's rich. And he's rich because he's a very famous socks designer. I don't think real life socks designers are rich, but I'm a dreamer, so I hope they will be recognized for their hard work. All hail socks. Anyway, he's super rich because he's a socks designer, and his socks brand is called Claude Roscoff. I don't know why, but as I said, I have a thing for nicknames. Julian and Kirian have just woken up. They are at Kirian's place because they live together, I think. They've just woken up, and Kirian and Julian is. I keep mixing their names because they both end in Anne. So Julian, Kirian, then you have Manhattan, and you have Dorian. And if you think this is a detail that will mean something throughout the story, no, it won't. I just didn't have very much. I didn't have an influx of creativity when I was coming up with names. Apparently, I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. Yeah, Julian is he's telling Gideon how he's working too much, how Gideon works too much, and that he should chill and all. And Gideon says that's why I'm organizing a party, but it doesn't. I still don't understand why this party is being thrown because I don't think that's the reason. I think Gideon is lying. Gideon, I don't believe you when you say that you are throwing a party to relax because you hate people. So why would you put yourself in a situation in which you are surrounded by, I don't know by who anyway, because when we'll get to this to the party scene, it doesn't even look like a party. It's not described as a party. Killian doesn't interact with anyone, and it's not clear who the people attending the party are. So I don't understand why Killian would put himself in that situation to quote unquote relax. I don't get it. So that's what I'm saying. Killian, I think you are bullshitting. And then I don't even know what I'm telling you about this, because see, I have highlighted a few dialogues throughout the chapter, but they're disconnected from the flow of time, because I don't know. So I'm just gonna skip through them because they don't make sense, and they're not even that funny. But I'm gonna tell you. Let's explore how Killian thinks. He's thinking. He's in his office now, and he's thinking. Honestly, I don't get why people don't care about their socks. Come on, they're the basic good. They're the basic of good taste. Black socks, boring. White socks, what you, a kid? Plain socks? Seriously? At least put some stripes on them, and I might give you permission to breathe the same air as me. I agree, Killian. I mean, black socks, fucking boring. And then, then there's this character. He's atrocious. You know what? In my head, this guy looks is a his appearance is a mix between Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove and the what? Wait, I'm gonna look up his name. The journalist from Code Geass. What's his name? Well, wait, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Journalist? I don't know. I'm just gonna write journalist. Dieter. So this character named Roger in my head looked like a mix between Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove and Dieter Reed. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if that's how. I think when I was making up the character, I was kind of thinking of what's his name, Dieter, because I remember this thing, but then when I was rereading it, Kronk came up in my mind, and so that was beautiful. Anyway, there's this character Roger. I don't get him. Actually, I don't get a lot of characters here, because Killian, he looks like he is involuntarily the leader of a cult, because not because he manipulates people. He tries to have the least contact possible with people. So it's not even because he wants to gain something from them. He just wants to stay away from them and have the least contact possible with human beings. I'm saying he's an involuntarily cult leader because Roger is one of them, but also other right, because there's this team, a special team for Killian. I don't know what these people do exactly. I think they manage security and the house. Like they're a bunch of bodyguards and maids and butlers and stuff. They're called the K team. Okay, but and them and this guy named Roger, and I suppose other people as well, they idolize Killian. They love him. They think he's amazing and so on. But he treats them just like anyone else. He treats them like shit. He doesn't care about them. He's just like yeah, shut up, whatever. Just tell me I'm amazing, you know. So I don't get why people would want to be friends with Killian. I think he's just a bad person, and he's also quite annoying as well. But anyway, this Roger guy, he loves Killian. Whenever Killian snaps his fingers, Roger arrives and he says, "Mr. Killian, do you have new samples?" Because another thing, I think Julian is the only one. Yeah, Julian is the only character close to Killian who doesn't call him Mr. Killian. Everyone calls him Mr. Killian. Killian, you're a spoiled brat. Anyway, yes, because Killian is summoning Roger in his office to show him his new samples. And it's like, please tell me how amazing I am. And Roger just agrees with him. He keeps on saying like, "Oh yes, Gideon, you're amazing," blah blah blah. Then other names and other dialogues, names of people that will never appear ever again in the story. And then throughout this meeting, I don't know, between Gideon and Roger, the things that really matter emerge from the dialogues, because Roger asks, "So, at what time the party tonight?" And then this is another sentence that makes you understand what kind of person Gideon is. He thinks socks are the very essence of fashion. I'm so proud of myself. I really want to pat my shoulder, and he actually pats his shoulder. La la la. So the scene of the party is the final scene of the chapter, and we are already there, because I told you nothing happens in this chapter. It's just I felt like Sartre, apparently. So we are at the party, okay, and Rose, she's the head of the K team. Okay, they're at the party, okay, and Gideon congratulates Rose on the good job for the party, for organizing the party. Because yes, I guess she manages security, but also organizes parties. I don't know. She's a jack of all trades. Um, I don't know why I'm telling you about this. Okay, it's. I'm sorry. This is yet again another scene in which we understand how Gideon is just an ungrateful bitch. He says, Rose, good job. Which, by the way, I'm impressed he said that, because that's so out of character. And Rose says, thank you, Mr. Gideon. No, Rose, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gideon. And he's like a bit annoyed, like, what the fuck, stop thanking me. And he goes like, whatever, yeah, you can go get lost, bye. And Julian says something on the lines of, you should treat her better, because, Rose is cool. And Gideon asks, what for? She's my subordinate, not my best friend. And Julian says, that doesn't mean anything. I'm your boyfriend, and you treat me shit anyway. Julian, why? Why are you in a relationship with Gideon exactly? This is something I am wondering. I hope I will find my answers, but I don't think that will happen. I think Julian is one of those people who, I don't know, I think he gets manipulated easily. It's not a very fun thing, actually. He's the kind of person who dates bad guys or something because he wants to fix them or whatever. But there's not even some critique about this kind of personality. So let's just leave it at that. And then Gideon says, whatever, let's just get the best drinks before the guests arrive. He really doesn't give a shit about the guests. But I mean, how can you give a shit about guests you didn't even know? Because I didn't even know who is attending the party. So, but I've already said this. Then there's this scene in which we find out that he is Claude Roscoff, because a postman, I don't know how, but he goes inside the house and he says he has a parcel for Claude Roscoff, which is Gideon, and he's like, I really admire your job, my daughter always buys your socks. And Gideon's like, yeah, I appreciate it, bye, and just sends him away. I don't even know if we find out we find out what's inside the package, but it's nothing interesting. It's like chocolate, because there's this guy who wants to interview Gideon, but Gideon's like, no, because he wants to shit on my work. He says I'm a spoiled brat, which is true, by the way, and blah blah blah. And Julian thinks, you're always so harsh, Gideon, but I know you're a good person deep within. Very, very deep within. Gideon gets drunk, and we find out that he has an alcohol problem. But he has an alcohol problem that he doesn't want to face, but clearly neither did I, because it's not particularly developed inside the story. It's just thrown there and just left there to rot on the ground. But anyway, so he's super drunk, and he is running around the party looking for the bartender to get more drinks, while Julian tries to keep him away from alcohol. So he's running around, and at this point, and this is the moment in which the connection happens. So Gideon is running around trying to find a bartender. He reads the name tag, and the name of this person is Icarus. And Gideon stretches out his arm to give the glass to this barman. Okay, and in this moment, the connection happens because Manhattan also said Icarus, and Manhattan and Gideon and Marika also stretched out their arms to give something to someone. In Manhattan's case was Delilah's jumper, and in Marika's case it was Lullaby's gun. So at the moment the connection happens, and Gideon throws himself on the floor and is like, "Oh, what the fuck? What's going on? I'm so confused." And also he's super drunk, so he doesn't really understand what the fuck is going on. And Julian is like, "Gideon, are you okay? What's going on? What's happening?" And Gideon is in shock. He's in shock. He's like, "I don't know what's happening, but I also know it." It's not very clear what you're supposed to feel when the connection happens, because Gideon thinks, "It's the clearest feeling I've ever felt before. I know exactly what it feels like. There are no words to describe it, though. Is it even possible? It feels like happiness, no. Sadness, no. Agony, no. Beauty, no. It feels like everything, and it feels like nothing at all." Da-da-da. And he also keeps thinking things like, "I'm not bad, I'm not bad, I'm not bad, I'm not bad." Stuff like that, which I suppose are foreshadowing for his strange past or something. And then he also keeps saying, "I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave." Yes, this was it. I feel like nothing happens, but I've talked for already some 15 minutes, so that was it. Whew, okay, so next time, I think I will manage to merge 2 chapters in only one video. It's always very freestyle. That's how I like it. So yes, next time we'll really dive into the story. Yo, bella, ciao.